Okay, folks, let's get this show started. All right, we about ready to get started here. Hopefully, you can hear me well. Yes. All right, we're about there. Okay, I hope things are kosher. Hope you are seeing everything. I'm not seeing nothing, but we're gonna go ahead and get things started. Uh, okay, well, it looks like I've been on here 6 minutes, 16 seconds, counting, doing nothing. There's a lot to get to, and a lot is being centered around Caitlin Clark. And I know some of y'all are like, man, do we got to hear about this again? Everything, Caitlin Clark this, Caitlin Clark that, Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark. It is what it is. But yes, a lot is going on, and we're going to talk about it today. And I do mean we are going to talk about it. I seen one today that got my attention, and we're going to go deep into the Caitlin Clark situation because even one of her own teammates recently said that she is not the best player. She didn't say it like that. However, the way she said it was like this. And I'm going to tell you her name. Her name is Kate Martin. Admission on Aja Wilson sparks some Caitlin Clark roasting. So Las Vegas Aces rookie Kate Martin is one of the rare stories in the WNBA that will be told for years. Martin isn't a regular rookie. She was picked out of the stands in the 2024 WNBA draft. The Iowa Hawkeye product went to the draft to support Caitlin Clark, the number one overall pick. and wound up getting selected in the second round. Martin played with arguably the most popular player. Notice that said the most popular player. It didn't say the best player, but it said the most popular player. Sit on that for a while. We'll get back to that. Martin played with arguably the most popular player in women's basketball with Clark at Iowa. And she now shares the court with superstars in the WNBA. She has the opportunity to learn from some of the best players that are currently in the league, like Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Aja Wilson. Now it's starting to get a little bit interesting. Just how interesting is this going to get? Just follow the story. The rookie recently spoke on Wilson, who's currently the favorite to win the 2024 WNBA MVP award. Martin shared her honest thoughts on the star, revealing a bold take that will have many fans turning their heads. You know, like, did she just really say that? Yes, she really said this. Here it comes. You know, I'm sitting next to the best player in the world. And not only is she the best player in the world, she's the best leader I've ever been around, said Martin via Summer DC on X. The Aces have gone 5-4 this season behind season averages of 28 points and 12.3 rebounds. Wilson leads the WNBA in both categories. She's one of the most versatile players the game has ever seen, and Martin's honest take reveals the level of respect the Las Vegas forward garners. Martin played several years with Clark at the collegiate level. Clark was an absolute sensation at Iowa. She holds the NCAA's all-time scoring record, and she was deemed a generational talent even before entering the league. Despite Clark's skill, however, Martin thinks she's never been side by side with a player of Wilson's talent. While it's likely a factual statement, she caused some online buzz around Clark, with fans taking subtle jabs at the Indiana Fever rookie. So what do you think of the comments of Kate Martin and what she had to say about her former teammate, and how she says that Aja Wilson is the best player in the league? By those numbers that she's posting right now, you can't argue with it. So is there a difference between being the most popular as opposed to being the best? There is more, though, to this Caitlin Clark story. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been following along, whether you want to or whether or not. You can't help but hear about the Caitlin Clark story because it's right there before our eyes. It seems like every other day there is something about Caitlin Clark, something about Caitlin Clark. We've heard the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese take, how she's not the only one that people are watching in the WNBA. And then people want to throw up stats as if stats is the only thing. And of course, stats do mean a whole lot. Don't get me wrong. Stats mean a whole lot. However, even when Magic and Bird came into the league, Magic didn't have a lot of gaudy stats, points-wise. But he was must-see TV. Bird could fill it up, score the points at will. But Magic was just what his name was, Magic. And maybe this is where the WNBA might have dropped the ball. Instead of promoting one player to be the face of the league, maybe you should have ushered in the new rival, that is Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Angel Reese might not have the gaudy stats, averaging 16 points and 7 rebounds and 7 assists, not to mention 5 turnovers. I mean, after all, that is what Caitlin Clark is averaging, 5.7 turnovers. But a modest 10 points, almost 10 rebounds. She's a double-double machine. And you can't deny the fact that Asia Wilson may also run away with the Most Valuable Player award based on her stats and how it helps elevate her team, whereas Caitlin Clark might be averaging 16 points a game, but her team is still 2 and whatever. It makes a big difference. Here's another story that's out that has to do with Caitlin Clark, of course. WNBA player dethrones Caitlin Clark as fan favorite after viral interview. Phoenix has long relied on the legendary duo of Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner, but the 2024 season marks the emergence of another star in the desert. Mercury guard Kalia Copper recently showcased her talent by dropping 29 points in a thrilling 97-90 overtime victory against the Dallas Wings. This performance is part of a stellar start to her first season in Phoenix, where she is averaging career highs of 23.5 points and 4.6 rebounds. Meanwhile, in Indiana, Caitlin Clark and her Tiger Woods-like fan base continue to attract widespread attention as the ultimate fan favorite. However, for a moment, WNBA fans turned their eyes to Cooper, jokingly suggesting that she had stolen the spotlight. Copper, who spent 7 seasons with the Chicago Sky before joining the Mercury, recently went viral for a post-game interview from 2023 that has resurfaced, reminding fans of her dynamic personality and talent. In a post-game interview that recently resurfaced from 2023, Cooper was asked about the bench's involvement in the game and seemed to take offense to the question. When prompted on what the bench needed to do better, given their quality numbers in the previous game, Copper humorously shot back with a simple answer: score the ball. The video has since gone viral, racking up 1 million views, 9.1 likes, 9.1K likes, 1.3K retweets, and 361 comments, according to Mark Jackson's burner account on X. Some fans are now calling Copper their favorite, even though Caitlin Clark remains a consensus pick for many WNBA fans. Hopefully I can pull up this audio so you can hear exactly what she had to say.
Khalil, this looks like the bench production. You didn't get a lot of it in this game here. Talk about what they need to do going forward.
You said what?
The bench. Not score a lot in this game here, give you a lot of production. What do you have to do next in the next few games to help you guys most likely get to the next level?
What does the bench have to do?
Yes.
What did you...
I was saying that the bench didn't give a lot of production today in this game here. What do they got to do to help you all out as what they did in the previous game?
What they got to do? What they do last game? That's a real question? You for real?
No, what I'm asking, just really trying to get an idea of what they need to do.
So what the bench do the last game?
They actually played well. They played well.
So what they do this game?
Today they didn't do well this game.
Okay, so what they got to do? Score, right?
Yep.
All right, bet. That's it, right?
And on that note, she simply just got up and walked away from the desk. That's why, yeah, that was... yeah, that was a hilarious exchange. So, do y'all think that One, Kalia Copper handled that interview well. I think she did. I think it will teach some of these reporters before you go into a post game interview, you better know good and well what you're talking about, or else you will get roasted. Plain and simple. But I want to look at some more concerning the Caitlin Clark situation, because we all know that she was snubbed from the Olympic team. And I am trying to wrap my head around the theory of, and if it seems like maybe I may be on her side this time, I'm really not on her side, but from a PR standpoint, this might have been a situation where women's basketball may have dropped the ball. When you stop and think about it, and the popularity of the game, how the game is gaining new fans, some will say it's because of Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese, if you let her talk about it, there's more to it than Caitlin Clark. If I have my word about it, I say it goes beyond just this year. It goes to those who actually paved the way for there to be a Caitlin Clark and an Angel Reese. But let's look at this. Caitlin Clark snubbed by the from the U.S. Olympic basketball team. And this created quite a stir. So Caitlin Clark, the most popular women's basketball player in the nation, if not the world, has been left off the 2024 U.S. Olympic women's basketball roster. 3 people with knowledge of the situation told USA Today Sports Saturday morning. This confirms USA Today Sports overnight reporting that Clark, whose thrilling logo threes and pinpoint passes have electrified record crowds and TV audiences while earning her WNBA Rookie of the Month honors and numerous rookie statistical records, has been snubbed by USA Basketball. USA Basketball, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, and Clark could not immediately be reached for comment Saturday morning. 2 other sources, both longtime U.S. basketball veterans with decades of experience in the women's game, told USA Today Sports Friday that concern over how Clark's millions of fans would react to what would likely be limited playing time on a stacked roster was a factor in the decision making. If true, that would be an extraordinary admission of the tension that this multi-million-dollar sensation, who signs autographs for dozens of children before and after every game, has caused for the old guard of women's basketball. The 2 people spoke on conditions of enormity because of the sensitivity of the matter. The U.S. women's basketball team is the most dominant and successful team in the world, having lost a game in 1992. But for all of their victories and medals, the U.S. players are often largely ignored by the sports media at the Olympic Games. The gymnasts and swimmers and runners, and of course, the U.S. women's soccer team gets so much more attention. It's a crowded couple of weeks with dozens of medals being handed out every day. So the competition for headlines is always intense. Even at the women's gold medal basketball games at the Olympics, the press tribune is almost always half empty, if not worse. Clark, of course, would have changed all that, igniting interest not just among U.S. media, but reporters around the world. Clark 22 has become the human gateway to women's hoops for hundreds of thousands, likely even millions of girls and boys, women and men. USA Basketball certainly could have tapped into her enormous reach to help promote not only its 2024 Olympic team, but the women's game in general. Selecting Clark also would have honored the popularity of the college game, and it has been done before with collegians like Christian Laettner, Rebecca Lobo, Diana Taurasi, and Breonna Stewart making U.S. Olympic teams over the years. The timing of U.S. basketball decision could not have been worse. Clark made a WNBA rookie record-tying 7 threes and scored 30 points in front of the largest WNBA crowd in 17 years, 20,333 Friday night in Washington, D.C., entering the game won by Clark's Indiana Fever. The Fever and Mystic were combined in 2019. Hundreds of children and adults in the crowd wore Clark's 22 jersey. The audience at Capital One Arena was more than double the crowd the Chicago Sky drew the night before in the same building. For months, Clark's possible selection has been the topic of speculation throughout the basketball world. I don't know how you leave the country without her, 4-time Olympic gold medalist Lisa Leslie told the Sporting News in April, adding that Clark 100% should be on Team USA. And to that note, I too would have to agree with Lisa Leslie. Yes, the WNBA is about more than one person. But when you look at the popularity of the game and how one person draws a lot of attention, this could be a situation where Team USA has dropped the ball. You already admitted that she wasn't going to get that much playing time. So what? You still get media attention. If she only played 5 minutes a game, think of the attention that's drawn towards Team USA, which in essence shines lights on other players. This was also a chance not only to grow Team USA globally, but also a chance to grow the game of women's basketball globally. To where now, like the NBA, like the NFL, you could tap into a market where people want to see your product, not just on TV or not just on YouTube TV, but also want to see it live and in person. Now the question is, in 4 more years, will it still be the Caitlin Clark circus as it is right now? Or will the honeymoon have worn off? USA women's basketball, listen to me closely. I'm not saying I'm the biggest Caitlin Clark fan, but you might have dropped the ball on this one. On this one, I have to call you for over and back. And that's a violation. So feel free to weigh in with your comments, your thoughts. Tell me what you think. Until the next time, I've sat up here and rambled on for almost 30 minutes.